Well, hello, parents, and welcome back to our little series on parental approval. I'm Amy Hayes, your host, and in this video, I want to talk about some simple ways that you can communicate approval to your child in spite of his behavior, but based on who he really is, his inherent value. So the first thing is just to believe yourself, just to convince yourself that your child does have this inherent value, that because he's made in God's image, that he has a unique identity, destiny, and purpose that nobody else has, that only he can fulfill, is enough to establish the value in your child. So just meditating on that and even writing out some things that you see in your child that are unique, that God put there to prepare him for his purpose and destiny in the body of Christ and on the earth. And so just really focusing in on your child's true value and worth apart from his behavior, which some days may drive you nuts, right? And then words of affirmation, just saying positive things to your child, even in the midst of when he's not behaving the greatest, just saying positive things to and about him. Sometimes I would talk to my friends about my kids in front of them so I knew they could hear. Oh, I'm so proud of, one of my children because of blah, 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 or whatever. Just saying, I just love how they take such good care of their little sibling, or they're so helpful around the house. So just saying those positive things about your child. Also, your tone of voice matters. Tone of voice can completely change a message from positive to negative. So watch your tone of voice and listen to yourself. Facial expressions are another way to send approval. Just smiling at someone. I mean, have you ever smiled at a stranger? It just lights them up, right? And so just smiling at your children just randomly for no reason. Years ago, one of my daughters asked me, "Why are you always mad, Mom?" And I was like, "I'm not mad." She goes, "Well, you look mad." And so I had to go in the mirror and look at my relaxed facial expression. I thought, okay, I got to do something about this. And so I just made it a point and a purpose to have a pleasant look on my face. Honoring their emotions. Now, I do a whole teaching on this and why it's so important. So you can look that up after you get done with this series. But honoring a child's emotions is so critical in communicating to them that they have value, because emotions are the expression of the heart. And if your child's heart is ignored or discounted or brushed aside, then it sends huge messages of disapproval. Responding to their needs. Now, oftentimes, we overlook our children's needs unknowingly. For example, if you're running your child around all day and they're exhausted, so they're crying and complaining, sometimes we address the behavior, the crying and complaining, and we forget that they have needs. They need rest. They need whatever they need, food or whatever. Maybe it's just too much stimulation. Affirming their desires. Again, I have a whole teaching on desire and why desire is so important, and yet we've never been taught as parents how to affirm our kids' desires, which doesn't mean that you grant every desire, but that you affirm and honor their desires. Positive correction, and we did a video on that in this series, how to change your correction from negative to positive so that you're not sending that disapproving messages. So I hope this is helpful. A little homework assignment: just listen to yourself and catch the ways that you catch yourself in ways that you're sending messages of disapproval, and then brainstorm how you can change the way you communicate with your child to send those approving messages even in the midst of correcting them. So I hope this has been helpful. I'll see you in the next video where we're going to wrap up this series with a few just other tips and tidbits about parental approval. So until then, take care and God bless.